Hello everybody. In this video we'll be taking a look at the 2026 Senate elections as of September 2025. We'll start off by filling out the safe red states since Republicans have more seats in the Senate as of now. We got Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. Then looking at Nebraska, I believe this one will be safe red as well because we have Pete Ricketts up against Dan Osborne, which Dan Osborne will definitely make the race closer. But a couple things is that Pete Ricketts is a stronger candidate than Deb Fischer is because Pete Ricketts won by about 25 points in 2024 while Deb Fischer won by 6. And then in 2018, Deb Fischer won by several points less than Pete Ricketts did in 2024, so I think Pete Ricketts still keeps it over 10, probably between 12 to 15 points as of now, but we'll just see what things are looking like there. Alaska, I believe, is going to be safe red. Unless Mary Patola decides to run, then I can change this prediction to either likely red or lean red, just depending on how well she's doing in campaigning and polling. But for now, she hasn't decided whether she's going to run or not, so I'm going to leave this one as safe red. Because she could either run for House, Governor, or Senate. We don't know yet. And looking at the state of Iowa, Joni Ernst decided not to run this time, which will definitely help Iowa for the Republicans here, so I believe it'll be safe red. It's also looking like the Democrats right this moment haven't found a very strong recruit in this state. And Republicans have recently been winning elections by greater margins in the state. So, safe red for Iowa as of now. And now we'll go to the safe blue states. We have Oregon, Colorado, Illinois will stay safe, Delaware, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and then we'll add on Virginia and New Mexico. The reason why Virginia and New Mexico are safe blues is because Republicans in these two states have not found any candidate in New Mexico, while in Virginia, there's one candidate thinking about running, but it's a no-name Republican. So for these reasons, I'm having both of these states as safe blue for now. That looks to be it for all the safe states. Now we'll go to the likely red states. We'll start off with the state of Texas. This one's looking to be Ken Paxton versus several different Democrat options. There's Colin Allred, there's a couple other ones that Democrats could nominate. But looking like Ken Paxton, he would underperform John Cornyn in a general election, but not by more than 2 points. That's what the polling is showing at least. It's looking like he'll be able to hold on by 7 to 8 points as of now. Now moving on to the state of Maine. This is going to be a very hard state to predict. We saw that in 2020. This state was really hard for people to predict. Every forecaster thought that this state would flip blue, and all the polling was showing that. Show Gideon leading by high single digits to even double digits sometimes. And Susan Collins still managed to pull off an 8 to 9 point win in 2020. And right this moment, looking at the Democratic field in this state, there's not any very strong candidate that is declared running yet to challenge Susan Collins. Many of these don't have much political experience. And independents tend to break for Susan Collins a lot in this state. While Republicans disapprove a lot, Democrats disapprove a lot, it's the independents that really favor Susan Collins in this state. For this reason, I'm going to keep Maine as likely red unless Democrats decide to find a very strong challenger to challenge Susan Collins. And now we'll go to the likely blue states. We'll start off with the state of Minnesota. This one's looking to be likely blue. Republicans do not have many strong candidates in this state to challenge in this open seat here. And if Royce White decides to be the nominee, he wins the primary, then this state could go safe blue if the Democrat is a strong candidate. We saw in 2024 that Royce White lost by about 16 points partially because Klobuchar is a big overperformer, but also Royce White was such a weak candidate. New Jersey as well, that's a likely blue state. We've seen after 2020 the state has made hard shifts towards the right and has become more of a likely blue state overall instead of a safe blue state. We've just seen all the shifts like in the sum of the House elections. We've seen it in the 2018 governors. When we shift over a few years, we see after 2020 the state has shifted hard to the right. So Cory Booker, he performed nearly on par with Joe Biden in 2020, maybe slightly outperforming him. But for now, I believe it'll be about 8 to 9 point win for Booker because it's a midterm year. But we'll just see how the shifts in this state continue to go. If it goes hard towards the right, then this race could get closer. If Republicans decide to find a lackluster candidate, then it could go safe. But for now, I'll have it likely blue. Forgot to mention Ohio. That one's likely R as well. Reason for this is Jon Husted is a stronger candidate than Bernie Moreno was in 2024, and Sherrod Brown lost by almost 4 points against Bernie Moreno in 2024. And Sherrod Brown not being an incumbent could hurt him as well in the state. But Democrats deciding to run Sherrod Brown could make the race closer than any of the other candidates they had in mind. But I can see this going about 6 to 7 points red as of now, just because Husted is a stronger Republican. And likely blue, New Hampshire, that's what I'm seeing right now because Chris Pappas, he's an overperformer historically in his House seat, and I could see that translate to the whole state. Scott Brown could make the race more competitive, but part of it is that he lost in 2014 by about 3.5 points already, which that could hurt him as well. But just depending on how registration goes in this state, that could make a difference. But for now, I barely have it about 5 points for Pappas in this state. And there are not any lean states on this map, interestingly enough, as of now. But we'll go to the tilt states. We'll start off with the state of Georgia. This is one where Jon Ossoff right now is raising a lot of money. He's having a well-funded campaign, and it looks like he's doing what he can to defend his seat in this state. On the Republican side, we have more of a primary contest. We have where there's 3 candidates in mind: Buddy Carter, Mike Collins, and Derek Dooley. Those are the top 3 leading candidates. It's looking like it'll end up being between Derek Dooley and Mike Collins. While Derek Dooley has the backing of Brian Kemp, Mike Collins will likely have the backing of MAGA Republicans such as Donald Trump and other supporters of him. And if this is a huge primary contest come the primary day, this could really hurt Republicans in the state. Because of that, as of now, since Democrats seem way more organized with this race than Republicans do, I see Ossoff hanging on by a tilt blue margin as of now. But depending on who Republicans nominate, if Derek Dooley becomes the nominee, I could easily see this lean blue. But as of now, we're just uncertain about the candidate in this race. But the primary contest will definitely hurt Republicans here. Jon Ossoff will probably increase his margin, though, to right under 2 points instead of less than 1 point. And in the state of Michigan, we also have a similar instance, except it's on the Democrat side where we have a primary contest. It's looking like Republicans here are united behind Mike Rogers, who barely lost in 2024 against a stronger Democrat in Elissa Slotkin. While it looks like the Democrat choices in the state have their strengths and weaknesses, they won't be able to perform the best statewide. However, they'll be able to perform well in certain groups of the state. And this primary contest is looking pretty tough for the Democrats here. And for that reason, I believe Mike Rogers will be able to narrowly flip the seat to a tilt red. And then finally to the state of North Carolina. This will probably be the closest one out of the three, but the top three closest states of 2026 will be North Carolina, Georgia, and Michigan. But for now, I'm thinking North Carolina will probably be the closest state out of them all. We have on the Democrat side Roy Cooper, who was the former governor of the state, and he's ran for many statewide offices, and he would overperform usually. And then on the Republican side, we have Michael Whatley, who has served as the North Carolina chair of the Republican Party and the RNC chair for a little while. So with this being in mind, Whatley's able to fundraise a good amount of money, but Cooper, his successes in the past can really help him out. And there are many people in this state that like him. Part of the difference is that it's a federal level race instead of a state level race, but the state is already really close on the federal level anyways. And with a candidate as strong as Roy Cooper for now, it looks like Roy Cooper will narrowly be able to flip the seat blue. Another part of it is Michael Whatley might not be able to resonate with voters since he's just served with chair. He might not have that Senate experience, so that might could hurt him. But it all depends how each candidate runs their campaigns. So far, Roy Cooper's running a really good campaign. Michael Whatley, he's running an alright campaign, but for now, it's looking like Roy Cooper will have it. So this is my prediction as of September. It will be Republicans hanging on to 53 seats by them flipping Michigan, and Democrats are able to flip North Carolina and hold on to Georgia. So thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to comment down below, like and subscribe. Let me know what you agree or disagree on, and bye.